Okay, I'm trying to say something, but I don't want to sound vain. I think a lot of my paranoia is because people are paying attention to me. Kind of an extraordinary amount. And like if someone sees me, they'll like linger and look at me like longer than just passing by sort of thing. And this is not like every person I pass or whatever, but I just think I hold a power that not everyone holds because of my self-awareness and that I want to help people, but it doesn't seem to be purely about how I look, why people look at me in a certain way, like they recognize me or trying to understand what's familiar to them about me. Yeah. So I'm just trying to blame myself less and less for things, and as I kind of like understand the origin of my like paranoia, which when I'm feeling positive about myself, it's pronoia. It's like thinking people are thinking positive things about me instead of people are thinking negative things about me. But I also thought about my personal experience of PTSD, like as being kind of shocked by movements and noise. That the other experience I've been having most of my life must be something a little bit different than that. I don't know if there's exactly a word for it because it's not paranoia, because paranoia describes something that's fairly light and not as big of a deal as what I was feeling all the time. It wasn't just being afraid people were looking at me or all focused on me in some way, like they were gonna get together and like attack me or kill me or something. And what I was always feeling was such like a mix of like emotional upheaval that I couldn't like tamper down for anything. And so the best I could do when I was working was just to do my job even though I felt this way. And I'm intelligent enough to do anything no matter how I feel. But and I've always admired people who are like disciplined, so I've done my best to act in a disciplined way and practice disciplined actions. But and not like whine about things. But I always like did need help mentally, and it's just like every counselor I saw was almost like some kid in high school I wouldn't want to get to know, that just had some hippy dippy life experience and just kind of wanted to categorize someone with like a mental injury. Someone called it mental injury on a TED Talk I watched, and I've been looking for a different way to talk about mental illness because I'm not like, I think that stigmatizes it to call it an illness. I think calling it an injury means it can heal and be fixed, or if it's an illness, I mean, there's not even a category for physical illness. Just everything fits under the category of like a physical illness, what they call it, an ailment. Which ailment is also a more positive word than illness. Illness kind of implies that it can never be fixed, which is not something I can believe about a mental injury, because where's the hope in that? You know, you gotta just like kind of develop a more positive way of looking about things, even if it's not popular. But I need to stop like putting my light out just because it makes like a few people uncomfortable. Because last time I stopped doing karaoke was because this one chick started to act really hostile towards me, and I had no idea why the fuck why. Because she was like fine with me a couple weeks prior. Anyways, and I don't talk about people, so it wasn't about anything I'd said about her. So, I just felt so disheartened. And it's hard for me when I have like a person like that around me who's just sending me such negative vibes. And I know it's not my fault, but I still feel like so rejected, and like a lot of the people I would do karaoke with had kind of negative feelings about me, which I assume were mostly like jealousy or something. And I just would want these people to see me as a human being. But the only way they can really change is if they reflect on themselves, and a lot of people are just pretty used to blaming other people for how they feel. But it got to the point, and this started at like karaoke here where I'm at now too, where I'm much quicker here, so maybe I'm getting better at stage performance. I don't know, I've always been pretty good at it. But I don't always bring my A game, because sometimes I don't feel great. Maybe it's still good. I don't know. I hope so. Just the DJ and the lady. I don't even care anymore. Ideally, I don't want hostile people around me, like if I'm going to perform for vast amounts of people. You know, I just want to keep them on the docket. But to think that I'll never have to interact with like hostile people, or that I won't get bullied or whatever, because that happens more to famous people than the general public, that's not really realistic. But now I'm like understanding that I'm like tough enough to deal with it, because I'm gaining more understanding of who I am, and that I'm awesome, and that no matter what anybody says, like I'm worth it. Like I've basically just been in a room alone for the last 4 months. And it's like, if I can deal with that, like what can't I deal with? You know? And I felt healthier and better being alone like this. So yeah, I think I'm gonna be alright. But like this recovery period was necessary. And I hope to soon in my life be around people that don't want to use me and can just add to my joy. And I think if I have those people in my life too, like I'll be okay and it won't matter what the negative people say.